G'day guys, welcome back to Supercoach with DR. Welcome to the round 14 review. Hope that you're all going well. I'll tell you what, I'm feeling pretty positive at the moment. We've got one more week until school holidays. I've finished my school reports and the dreaded bye rounds are done and dusted. They're over. Don't even need to talk about them anymore. Don't even need to think about them. Let's just erase them from our memories and move on in a positive way for the rest of the season, because I know for many coaches it was absolute chaos, rookies going down left, right and centre, underperforming premiums, bloke that we thought would probably be in the 22 for one reason or another were not. Some we found even as emergencies, like your Clarks, your Riolis. It was just a super tough last 3 weeks, but amazingly, they were pretty positive for me. I ended up going up around 1,400 spots from round 12 up to round 14. So I'll take that every day of the week. And I now find myself at 3,042, which is my highest rank this season. So things looking pretty good at the moment. And with a score of 1831, I was absolutely amazed I actually went up 47 spots this week. I thought I would be going downhill majorly, maybe even 500 to 1,000 spots, but I guess that there must have been carnage for lots of the teams sitting around, I suppose, the 3 to 5k mark. But look, I'll keep this one pretty short this week. I'll show you what the team's looking like. I'm likely to make one trade. I think 38% of coaches currently own Zack Butters, so he's now, I think anyway, a must trade out. And due to the fact that I did have this information, early to mid round, I did make a late change of plans with my trades last week. Ended up bringing in a bloke that I wasn't planning on anyway, but I needed to do that in order to facilitate my move this week and bring in a bloke that I really wanted for Butters. So that's it for me for now, guys. Let's see how the team's actually looking. Hope you had a great round yourself. Now, before I quickly take you through the side, I better go through the trades that I made last week. So, firstly, I got rid of a little bit of deadwood in Jack Carroll, moved on Connor McDonald, and also moved on Sam Hayes as well. So, like many, end up bringing in the teak for Sam Hayes. For McDonald, I used a bit of DPP, end up getting Dirksen into my forward line to allow me to gain that swing with McCartan forward and back now. I think that'll be really handy. Got Massimo D'Ambrosio in. He was pretty exciting on debut as well. And in my forward line for Connor McDonald, I ended up bringing in Stephen Cornelio. It was a late change of plans, but given the fact that I knew that I had to trade out Butters at this stage before the Dogs game and before the Giants game, I thought to myself, I probably need to go with a cheaper option this week in order to bring in someone like a Bont the week after for Butters. So that's what I had to do, and I think I played it pretty safe and played that pretty smartly as well, and I'll be fine to do what I want to do this week. So they were the trades that I made, and I'm only going to make one trade this week, which is Butters out, and I'll talk about what I'm going to do in a sec. But had all my defensive players on field this week, which was handy. Had Sinclair for 105. I think it was actually on 115. Got scaled down 10 points for some reason. I'm not too sure, but he's just continued to play great footy for the last month and for the majority of the year. Hewitt with 103. Look, we're not seeing those 117s, 118 type scores. 97, 103 in the last couple. So 100 average in the last 2 weeks. That's fine from George. Still a really solid player. Doherty 128. He's really putting his hand up for one of these top 3 defensive spots this year. Just did everything we want to see. Took some kick-outs. Kicked the ball a lot. Marked well. Just fantastic game from Doherty. I know a few people actually had the vice-captaincy on him, which would have also worked out pretty well. Short, this was absolute clanger city. You would have thought that this bloke was actually playing for Carlton. So many long kicks just landed in the lap of the Carlton defenders. Just, yeah, shocking disposal efficiency. But look, with Short, he does have a pretty good draw coming up. So he does play North, does play West Coast. It'll be a really tempting option for some people if they've got a little bit of cash in a couple of weeks to go from Short to someone like a Stewart if you don't have him. But I'm pretty keen to hold on to him mainly due to that fixture. And if he can't produce good scores during, against these lowly sides, then it's probably time to move him on there, I think. And McCartan with a 59 wasn't great. His lowest score in a while, but I'm going to keep him as cover for the rest of the year. Massimo on debut, as I mentioned, was really impressive. Didn't really get near the ball in the first quarter, but second quarter, 8 disposals. I think that was a team high. Looked really, really exciting. Couple of clangers, but did look to take the game on. Couple of nice bullet kicks there as well. A nice weighted kick. So I was really impressed from him. Looks like a really popular character as well. Essendon played out of their skin, so I think he keeps his spot for the short term. Really, really good selection, I think, for now. Sicily and Chris didn't play. The midfield was Yeah, pretty shocking this week. Obviously, Clary didn't play, but McRae I did have as my vice captain. I've nailed 3 captains in a row, so that feels really, really good. A 155, that was obviously the standout score for me this week, so picked really well there. Super happy with that. Miller, he was going to be my backup captaincy option. Bit of a slow game from him, just got to 3 figures in the end, but yeah, I think Rory Laird would have gone close to doubling his disposals in the end. I think he got maybe 24, I'm not too sure. Cripper, 79, pretty disappointing, you know. Last couple of weeks haven't been too bad, but the weeks prior to that, we were a little bit iffy on the pick. Again, when he produces a 79, question marks are raised, but I don't think many coaches will be in a position to move him on. So we're pretty much stuck with Cripper this year. Hopefully he can get back to that good form. Zeret, this is a bit of a nothing pick for 91. If I'd have had my time back, I probably would have moved someone like a Sinclair into my midfield and waited to get someone like a Dawson or a Stewart type, I think, over Merritt. Look, he does come up against, is it West Coast or North this week? It's either West Coast or North this week. So hopefully he can produce a good score. But yeah, it just doesn't look like a good selection for me, Zach Merritt. The contested possession rate simply isn't there. He's not getting enough of the ball. Yeah, not really liking the pick. Bit unfortunate there. Petrarca didn't play. Clark came on for 44. Pretty impressive. Tackled well. Does he keep his spot or does he actually make it into the 22 next week? I'm not too sure. Hopefully, though. Rioli as well played really well for his 25 points. Kicked a goal, set up a goal. There was another one where he managed to run right back, save one handball. Think that set up one. So did some really good things in his last quarter. Not sure what happens moving forward with him. Neil Brayshaw and Owens all obviously didn't play. Now, I'll tell you what. This Nank move that I've made, I was spewing with myself, absolutely spewing with myself, but I did make 85 points the week before trading out from Wits. Wits obviously didn't play, had the bye, and Wits only scored, I think it was a 68 this week compared to the 107, so have I pulled the rabbit out of the hat? I'm not too sure, but I have managed to trade Jared Wits, I think close to his highest price point, the week before he had his bye, and then his lowest score of the year, so that has actually worked out really well short term. I'm sure it could still come to kick me in the butt, but I was originally planning on upgrading Nank back up to Wits. I'm not sure if I'll do that now. Obviously I'll have to do something with Butters, which I'll talk about in a sec. Teakle, disappointed he got injured, and then Darcy obviously on the pine. English actually had a really solid last quarter, a couple of really strong contested intercept marks, which really helped to boost his score. I thought he was pretty underscored as it was to 3/4 time, but 110 at the end of the day, I'll certainly take from him. Look, is he dominating like I thought he would? No. And the bloke that I actually traded out for him, Isaac Heaney, is up, I reckon, around 30 points on him in the last couple of weeks. So that's a little bit disappointing. But moving forward, the fact that I'll have great cover in the ruck, that will be invaluable because we know what Darcy's durability is like, and I'm not overly confident on Nank's durability either. So I think English should be a really good pick to end the year with. Dunkley, everyone's got 114. That was fantastic. Luke Parker, I was super worried about this bloke up until halftime, and then he went bang. I think it was about a 70-point quarter. So it just goes to show the talent of this man. Thank you very much, Luke, because I think he's still only in the low 20s. He's a relative pod when it comes to, popular premium. So that does make sense, relative pod, popular premium. You know what I mean? Good players. So 135 points is absolutely fantastic from him. And all of a sudden, I know there are a few blokes that may have been planning to bring him in this week. Given the fact he's pushed out that 135, maybe slightly out of range, and now you may even have to use 2 trades to get him in, which is a little bit unfortunate. But Rapid, I've got Parker on the side. This bloke, Steve Cornelio, I had to swallow a little bit of pride. I traded him out at the worst time possible for his 2 big scores. One in between was an 80-odd, which I can live with. But 113 at the end of the day, I'll absolutely take. I thought he was underscored as well. Did a couple of nice things towards, I think it was about 5 minutes to go, but didn't really get scored because the scaling was all over the place. I think they'd already got to the 3,300 maximum. But look, why did I trade Cogs in? Well, it was the fact that he was around or under 500k. Looking at my bank balance, looking at my trades in the bank, I thought to myself, look, I don't know if I'll be able to go a Bont this week and then bring like a Libba type in this week. So I looked at the break-evens, I looked at the players that are available, and this man simply made the most sense. It was tough because, as I said, I did own him. I did start with Cogs and trade him out, but sometimes you've just got to take the emotion out of it, do what you think or know is best. And for me this week, that was to bring Cogs back in. So super happy with that 113 score. And I think he's got the ability to be an F6 anyway for the end of the year. Zack Butters, this is just super unfortunate. This poor bloke, you know, but this is the thing. We knew the risk when we selected Zack Butters. It's his kamikaze style of game. And for me, he's probably on the never again list. I've just had no luck with poor plays. You know, Houston, Trav Boak burnt me last year. Lockie Jones last year was a terrible rookie pick for me. There have been so many unfortunate incidents involving myself and Port Adelaide players. And I'll tell you what, none worse than the Peanut Peter Adams. And I tell you what, the events of this week, this is why I've nicknamed him the Peanut. This is why this man has been dubbed the Peanut for the last couple of years now. Look at what he did in the weekend. Tell me this bloke isn't an absolute cashew. So, yeah, enough about the Peanut, enough about Port players. We simply need to trade out Butters this week. Roses, this was another super disappointing one. Obviously had the bye last week, but the week before gave me an 85, was in really nice form. For me, he would give me 20 players, apart from my two emergencies in Clark and Rioli. So, yeah, super disappointed he didn't play, but I still think he'll be really nice cover for the rest of the year. And then we've got Brody there and Dirksen. I think Dirksen was pretty impressive this weekend as well. So, slight chance he may even get a game at the end of the year. So, all right, let's get this side optimized. So, this is what the final side is looking like at the moment. So, you've got Sicily, Sinclair, Hewitt, Doherty, Crisp and Short, McCartan and Ambrosio, on the Pine. So, yeah, that's going to be my cover for the year. I think Massimo's got the chance to keep his spot for a while, and McCartan's got the best job security out of any rookie that you'd want to see. Really happy that I can keep him for the rest of the year. So, pretty keen on that. Stewart's probably the main omission, possibly a Dawson as well. Now, the midfield, this is where we start to get a little bit light premium-wise, I think. We've got Oliver Neal, Miller, McRae, Brayshaw, Cripps, Merritt, and Petrarca. So, look, I think Petrarca can actually come back and hit the ground running for the second half of the season. If we look at his post-buy average from last year, I think it's around the 120s. So, I haven't lost faith in track, but it's been really frustrating owning him for the last few weeks. As I said, Zerrett's a bit of a nothing pick. I'd love to luxury trade him out if I can. May have a bit of a sneaky plan if all things go well, not too sure. Cripper, most of us have. Brayshaw, I think, could be a good selection. I think he's currently 8th on averages anyway for the midfielders, so he belongs there. And these four I'm really happy with anyway. Onto the rucks, so you've got Darcy there. Happy with Darcy now. I wasn't happy with Darcy for the last couple of weeks, but given, you know, the carnage with Gawn now, Wits looked a little bit shaky this weekend. I think Darcy's okay to have. And then Nank all of a sudden is looking a lot better than what he was a couple of weeks ago. Tickle as coverage there. And then we've got Clark, Rioli and Owens. Owens, I don't think will come back for the season. Clark, hopefully can get his spot back. And Rioli, who knows? He might be in the other side. Not too sure at this stage. And then forward line, we've got English, Dunkley, Brody, Parker, Cogs. Butters will have to go. Then Roses and Dirksen. Remember, Dirksen is there so we can swap with Paddy McCartan. So there's going to be one simple trade for me this week. And this is why I had to get Cogs in last week. I wanted to make sure that I could afford Mr. Marcus Bontempelli. So I'm just going to do this nice and quick. 21k left in the bank. Complete trade. How long will this take to go through? Internet has been shocking for me lately. This is actually pretty good. Trade complete. Beautiful. So the only change we make there to the final side is Bont in for Butters. So I'm pretty happy with that, to be quite honest. Where are the major gaps here? Maybe a Libba, but would I take Libba over any of these guys? No, probably not. So is it the perfect forward line? You could argue that Darcy Cameron could be there, but at the same time, yeah, I'd be a little bit worried later on the season when Grundy comes back because his average pretty much goes. And I would save a trade for Darcy Cameron. Make sure that you do that, in my opinion anyway. Yeah, the rucks, that's okay, as I said. What's my sneaky move? Well, look, I don't know if this will work out with break-evens and all the rest, but Jack Steele has a massive break-even. I'm thinking maybe a couple of weeks after his return, would 21k get me merit somehow up to a steal? If I could do that, I would take the luxury trade and go down to 4. But I think 5 trades is a really nice amount of trays to have. I really wanted 6 if possible in order to use a double to give me a luxury upgrade. But look, I might be in a spot to go down a Paddy McCartan if D'Ambrosio looks like good cover. And then I could maybe upgrade a couple here, maybe go a Stewart and a Steele or a Laird or a Mills if things work out. It's nice to have a few in the bank just in case. So that's the team, guys. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you need any advice in regards to your trades. I will definitely get back to all the comments this week. Apologies if I haven't got back to yours in the last couple. It's been absolute chaos, as I said, just been super busy. But given the fact I'll have a lot of time off in the next few weeks, I'll get back to everything that I can. And yeah, apologies for that, guys. I'll definitely get back on the horse when it comes to that. So all the best to us of lust. Oh my goodness. All the best of luck for this week, guys. I'm absolutely losing it. Take care, and I'll see you soon in the stocky. All the best. Cheers. Bye.